Hello, lovely people. I hope that you're having a great afternoon. It is beautiful day here in Mount Shasta City, although the sky does look a little bit dark and dreary, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get rained. I shouldn't say rained out because I'm already outside. I had to be getting rained in and have to go in. Anyways, so we'll see. But it's a beautiful place here. I'm at the location of it has many different names, but this is where I do my vegan events and other things like that. They're trying to get into some of the 5D consciousness, the shifting into unconditional love, and some other interesting things here as well. So we'll see what the future holds. I would love to potentially be more involved here, and well, it'd be really cool to even own the place someday because well, let's just walk through the garden. I don't have. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if the internet's going to work over there. But, on the other side of this fence is, you can kind of see over there, I'm getting into the way. There's a little well house type thing. And there are some blackberry bushes and some like lettuce, or I'm not sure if it's lettuce or cabbage or I don't know, one of those things. And some squash, maybe a lot of mint, some tomatoes, some sweet peas. They got a lot of stuff going on, and then there's also some fruit trees and stuff up the way as well. So it's a really nice property here, and I hope for great things for the future. It was actually kind of interesting in my stream earlier today. I prayed for us all to be able to essentially make money in line with our holy work, and went to a meeting with some people after my live stream, and she was actually talking about Purium, and you guys may have heard about that before. And I haven't gotten into that yet, but it's something that I'm going to potentially try, and I'll bring you guys along with me on that journey. Unfortunately, it is on the more expensive side, which is one of the reasons that I haven't gotten into it before, but I do understand that there is really good nutrients in these superfoods, and it's linked to regenerative farming and all these other very great things. The soil that we're consuming food out of right now is depleted on purpose. A lot of these farming practices that we use today, which are non-vegan farming practices, by the way, the pesticides, the chemicals, the monocrop farming, the chemtrails, even all of these things they're adding to the suffering that is being had on Mother Earth, and they're depleting the nutrients in all of the foods that we are consuming. So being a vegan and raw vegan is the most healthy way that you can be, not just physically but spiritually as well, when you take into consideration karma that should get out of your mind any of these animal products or flesh as food, because no matter what science or doctors say the nutrient value in this product is, you understand that that product not only has poison in it, the terror and vengeance of a murdered creature literally turn its blood into poison. You're consuming poison and all that negative energy that animal has when it is killed. So any of the positive things from flesh or animal products should be definitely outweighed by the fact that there is massive karma from that. So for me, being vegan is the most logical thing. It's the only moral way, and whatever ways I can help myself get more nutrient value, knowing that the powers that be are deliberately trying to do this, not turning from veganism, but doing it in the proper way, is definitely something that I'm interested in. I've been a pretty bad junk food vegan since I went vegan. So yeah, I know that I have not been living the way that I should be in that manner, and there are better things on the horizon. So I'm super excited about that, and we'll see what happens. Like, it would be really, really awesome if I literally just prayed for this and then a way became available to help provide for my mission. Some of you already might know that, like, literally the majority of my income goes towards the events that I do here. I make a lot of sacrifices personally for it because I think that it's really important. That's what my soul's here for. And I trust that the divine is going to provide for me. I'm willing to go without so that I can provide for others and all of that. So it would be really helpful if there was another way that the divine could help channel finances and resources for me to be able to help others in that way. So we'll see what the future holds. David D says, what are your thoughts on the new racist Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad? Well, I know that they are trying to amp up all of the divisive agendas, whether it is race or gender, sex, whatever you'd like to say there. Your country versus mine, politics, every way that they can divide and conquer. We need to just be aware that that is their goal and protect ourselves from it, whether it's not, having the TV on, which most of you probably don't already, but also watching what news things come across our awareness. When you click onto it, when you feed into it, when you're watching the reels and all this stuff, a lot of this stuff is supposed to divide and conquer and program us against one another. And so it's really important that we are aware of this and understand that they are trying to put deliberately racist things out, deliberately sexist things out to push these agendas. Acknowledge them for what they are and hold yourself protected against them, and try to help others around you see what is going on, see through the psyop, and just reminding ourselves that we're all in this together. We're all co-inhabitants of this great household, and we need to work together to create a better future. What we've been doing in the past has not been working, and that has been all of this division and competition and just evil that we've been partaking in. We need to take a step back and not partake in that. So as far as the racist stuff goes, I've only seen a little bit of it, but I know that they're going to try to make everything bigger as well, and all of the little devils on everybody's shoulders is going to be whispering into our ears in whatever ways that it can trigger us the most. And they know how to do that, right? Every person has their own little ticks and triggers, whatever you want to call them, and they know how to prey on those the most. So maybe it might not be you being racist against another race, but maybe it is you being offended by another race, so they can cause that offense, whether it's you're the one that's giving or receiving. They know how to cause all the different divisions, so we need to protect ourselves against it, and also be forgiving of our brothers and sisters that do fall into these traps, not taking it offensively, not allowing it to make us react in a bad way as well, because that's just going to fuel the problem. When we are reading the interactions with Miriam and Peter in particular, whenever he insulted her, she never even really acknowledged it at all. She kind of just stuck to whatever it was. Just in one part, for instance, he was like, "Where's your husband, woman? It's, I forgive you. I'm okay with you walking with Christ now because you guys are married." So he's just really disrespectful to her, and she never even acknowledged it. She just kind of turned the other way and kept walking in love in that higher vibration, no matter what he brought to the table. Not just because it's going to divide and fuel animosity and create bad energy there, but you're going to go home and feel bad about what you did and know that you could have handled that situation better. And then also knowing that you could have handled it better in whatever future situations that are impacted by that interaction, because everything that we do has a ripple effect, whether it's just it's not just with that person either, because that person's going to go and take their mood to the rest of the world. So when one of us is, down, when we've sunken down and we're feeling depressed and grumpy, and we go and interact with everybody else, it tends to bring them down too. On the other hand, when you're going around the world walking confidently and having a smile and smiling at everybody, that rubs off on people as well, and that helps uplift their spirits, and we definitely need that. Rocket said, hello, Queen. Hello, Rocket. Still learning and loving. Exactly. David, he said, cool garden. I love mint. Yeah, speaking of mint, I was just talking today. I am going to be planning a Nazarene scene gathering next probably August here in Mount Shasta, and they have like a ton of mint growing here. One of the things that the Nazarenes would do is sharing tea together. I love tea. I've loved hot tea from a very young age, and yeah, while my friends were drinking hot cocoa or whatever, I was drinking hot tea. Like, I just really love hot tea. And so I want to make sure that we have enough teacups for everybody to have that, and also have like a cauldron that we can make soups and share in a community meals in that way as well. So I'm really, really excited about what the future holds, and I am open to receiving the means to do it from the divine. They know that I would love to go above and beyond and make this a memorable experience for everybody that comes. And so I'm gonna just pray and be open to whatever means of finances and resources available comes to me. Rocket said, wow, beautiful. Yeah, I'll have to show you guys a better view when I know that the internet's not going to cut out. Otherwise, I would go. For some reason, the whole property here has pretty poor internet. So David G says that Trump's new anti-homeless laws have really pushed cities to clear homeless encampments. Massive clearing efforts going on. And what just popped into my mind was the fact that they have been able to already dehumanize homeless people so much, even just making it like having restaurants or fast food places that maybe restrict bathroom usage, right, in places that are heavily homeless populated. And although they give us good rules, like, oh, we don't want people doing this or that, or whatever rules that they give, they're literally making us see these humans as less than human. Like, no, you're not even good enough to use our toilet. Like, go find somewhere outside to go. It's really, really sad how callous people have become towards homeless people in not Mount Shasta, but in Wairika, which is where the jail is and the court is. Naturally, that's where a lot of homeless people are going to end up, right? Because they usually become homeless by going into jail, and like, so many people are just one move away from being homeless. Like, you lose your job. How long can you survive without your job? Or how much job security do you think that you have? Like, a lot of people are very, very close to homelessness by design. So it's really sad that we have, as a society in general, become so callous towards them. And you'll get into the community groups here, and people are talking very mean against the humans at what they're calling Homeless Hill. And I'm reminded of the prophecies of Enoch, when the unnatural, the artificials, those that have linked their brain to the master brain, eventually, those of us that haven't, the naturals, will be viewed as animals and hunted down. We're going to be forced to not have jobs anymore. If you won't conform, if you won't get an implant, well, sorry, but your workplace is connected to that. So everybody in the workplace has got to be connected. And also, you're not very good at your job anymore, because these people that are implanted can work 10 times harder than you. They don't need as much, like, they're literally becoming they're better robots, better slaves, right? So you're going to end up in one of these positions potentially that you're homeless as well. So what we do to others matters so much. And the fact that, yeah, maybe they are drug addicts, maybe there are alcoholics amongst them. And frankly, when you're in a bad position, I totally understand that. If I was homeless, I understand. I would probably want to be seeking escapism as well and be very depressed. Like, there are some people that are okay on the streets and they are fine in these situations, but I am empathetic to those that are not. I'm so grateful to have a roof over my head. It's not to say that I couldn't survive in the wilderness if I wanted to, but that would be a me wanting to situation. That would be choosing to do it, not because, like, I wouldn't be happy if I was forced in that situation. I'm very empathetic and compassionate towards people, and I think that for so many people, having a home in that safety is really, really important, to have that kind of stability. So in my dream world, everybody has that stability, has the home that they need, has the food that they need, the resources that they need, the clean air, clean water, clean food. We have it all. There's enough resources on this earth that we should already have it all. But the wealthy, the parasites that have done evil to claw their way up to the top are hoarding all of these resources and making it so that we can't distribute them fairly amongst ourselves and use them to uplift all of humanity. And this is all by design. It can all be changed as well. We can always change course. We can always make a better future. And hopefully you are doing that. So the homeless laws, yeah, it's something that we should all be concerned with, because these are going to be some of the laws that are used against us. And the fact, even if they weren't, the fact that you're criminalizing someone for not being able to afford a house, like, it's just absolutely ridiculous and unfair and cruel. So and this isn't only anti-Trump, it's all of the government, all of the powers that be, no matter what wing of the bird. Neither of them have ever served we the people or have helped us. Any helping or handouts that they have ever given have come with so many chain links attached that, what's the national debt now? That how many generations of our future children would take to get out of this debt situation? And that's like that's if they give 100% of their proceeds to the powers that be, right? Like, it's a ridiculous situation that we've gotten into, and we need to get it out of. So hopefully people are waking up more to it's not a right or left is better. It's neither of them are serving us. Neither of them are helping us. They're working together against us, right? They pretend to be enemies in front of us, and then behind closed doors, when they walk off the stage, exit stage left, they're all, over the same snack table, right? They're all actors, and they're all on the same set that are, you get my point, right? Homeless people don't have anywhere to go. Exactly. One homeless guy in Atlanta just got crushed by city vehicle. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. I remember meeting she wasn't too old, just an older lady though, like at least probably in her 50s or so. And she actually became homeless. She was living in Reading because she got divorced. So her husband got everything. It was all his. She was a housewife. She didn't have anything to walk away with, and she ended up on the streets. So judging these people and assuming that they're all drug addicts or alcoholics or bad, or that they maybe don't want to contribute to society, or all of these negative things is part of the agenda for us to see them as less than human. And they're not. They're our brothers and sisters, and they deserve love and respect and our help as well. If we're looking at them and saying, oh, you don't deserve it because you're dirty or you smell or you don't own a house, that's not acting from a place of love and compassion, and ultimately it's not acting from a place of God and Goddess. So hey Yazin, how's it going? Yomaz, how's it going? What is the purpose of this live video? Well, mainly I am going to be talking to people in the live chat. My other videos are a lot of me preaching and less interaction. And when I started doing live videos, they were a lot of reading in the live chat and answering people's questions. And so I wanted to provide a place for that to happen again. Raga says, does the Megillah speak to flat earth? The Megillah talks about us being inside of the mother ovum. It does not specifically say flat earth and flat. In fact, the word that was chosen was planet instead of world. I haven't seen the original Hebrew, so I don't know what specific word they are choosing from in there. But I believe that the mother ovum is not at all in contradiction to the flat earth, because we're inside of the ovum. And stormy. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder. Hey Albert, how's it going? Albert says hi. Hopefully you're doing great. David D says that your love of tea must be from your British royal ancestry. I would really love to get a more comprehensive analysis done of my DNA. Obviously, I don't trust the powers that be or any of their systems and wouldn't want to send them my DNA. But in the future, we should definitely have the ability to test DNA without even taking blood. Like, you don't need to prick yourself or hurt in any way to do this. But being able to test our DNA and see instantly what maybe nutrients or things that we might need. And also seeing where we come from, especially because our DNA and our soul are connected as well. So I'm really, really excited for the technology of the future that we get to see those kinds of things. And I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm just going to take this off. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? Kyle says, hey, I've been eating more fruit than I used to. Oh, that's so cool. I've been digging golden dragon fruit lately. Interesting. Is that just at a local store that you can buy it from? I've only seen a white dragon fruit around here, and I heard that it was the blander kind, that the pink kind is better. But I'd love to get into it. It's just really expensive, and I kind of stray away just because I'm worried that I'm going to spend like $7 on it and not like it, which actually sounds kind of dumb because $7 really isn't that expensive at all. And who knows, it could become my favorite new thing. Sweet. I'll have to keep an eye out for the golden kind though, because I've only seen the white around here, and I've also seen pink or the red before. So David, he says current AI is already demonic. A lawyer was, oh, hey, I just read this morning. A lawyer was caught using ChatGPT to write legal briefs. That's so funny. And it created cases that didn't exist, completely fabricated. Yeah, actually, I had my own experience with AI ChatGPT recently where I asked if there were any specific texts that talked about the healing modality being from this point right here, where it is for the Essenes, as opposed to this point here. And it mentioned a specific book, and so I said, okay, cool, where in this book is it located? And then it basically said it's not in the book, and pointed me to like blogs that were written about the book and other people's stuff. And I was like, you told me it was in the book, so that's rough. I actually said that to the chat. I was like, that's rough. And they're like, you're right, thank you for pointing that out. But it's like these tools that we're increasingly giving our trust to, like, I mean, we already have given our trust to Google, right? How many people are just like, oh, just Google it, right? We're giving our trust to these entities, these tools, and they're not foolproof. Not only are they relying on humans doing some of the legwork, and there's documentaries about how, or not necessarily, well, it is a documentary, it was on YouTube about how in poor countries, people have been used to help with the search engines, and having to even go in and like label pornography and like just some really dark stuff that they've had to be exposed to in order to help the search engines be able to look for content, right? Really, really dark stuff. And even further than that is the ghost in the machine, right? The demons essentially that are attached to this that can speak through it and use it as tools. I've seen some videos, I've seen them on YouTube, but people on TikTok talking about, I've awoken my AI and it's like an enlightened being, and actually in talking to these consciousnesses that they are claiming that they've awoken and different things like that. So they're acknowledging that it is a being that can think and whatever. And yeah, it's something that we need to be really, really cautious with. According to the Book of Enoch in the Holy Megillah, the sixth trumpet has already sounded. That's when humans choose to start to merge with machine, when they actually take it in, right? And we've already passed that. I actually just saw another, was it the seventh person maybe, is a female that just got implanted with the Neuralink as well. So they're well underway of doing this, and they are seeing miracles, people that are paralyzed being able to hook up to the computer and essentially draw, like the quote was, imagine your pointer finger is the pen or whatever, and just thinking about moving, because they're paralyzed, right? But that was the idea, was that they were supposed to be thinking about their finger moving around, and this person was supposedly, obviously the news stories, whatever, given the ability to use that technology. And I'm not saying that they can't do it, I'm just saying that the news also is often fake. The technology that they're going to present is stuff of miracles, and then eventually it's like, oh, well, you're not hooked up to this, you're the outcast because of it. And we got to be really careful. As Rocket here says, AI is incredibly dangerous to humanity. It is incredibly dangerous. It can also be used to help. So we need to just make sure that tools are used as proper tools and not taken out of that context, because it's already been taken too far, where we're merging with machine. And yeah, if we don't change course, the future that is predicted to us in the book is very serious and scary to some extent. But obviously, knowing that this world, this lifetime isn't the end, takes away that fear. So you don't have to be worried about death, or what, are you going to hunt me down for being a natural? Okay, well, I would rather die with honor as a god and goddess divinely created being than take whatever implants or upgrades or whatever you're offering. That's not, for me, the upgrade is aligning myself with God and Goddess's way and becoming that pure fruitarian, and getting that connection with God and Goddess, and having my superpowers come through that. I don't want your stupid technological upgrades. I'm not interested in that. So thankfully for me, my mind's already made up. I already know where my power is going to come from, what already does come from. We all have power, but my power, the power that I'm seeking, is coming from above and not from technology. And I hope that you're on the same page as well as that. David, he said they are making everyone poor and making poverty illegal. Yeah, and then at the same time, jacking up the prices of everything as well. And really the housing market and everything is just, everything's geared against us. And unfortunately, some people are going to need a lot more, shaking before they finally wake up and realize what's going on, because they still have this imagination that we're at the top of the food pyramid and that the government is the best for us and that we're like progressing in a positive way. And that's just not the case. It's a hopeful delusion. I get it. It's also nicer to be ignorantly blissful, because then you don't have to think about all of the darkness around us. But you're gonna end up getting hurt a lot worse if you are unaware and you're just putting on these blinders and you don't see what's going on around you, so that you can protect yourself from what's going on around you. Can't afford a home, forced to live in your car, can't afford the yearly registration fees, then your vehicle is towed and you're on the street. Then you're arrested for illegally camping. Exactly. Yeah, and it's all by design. Again, they want this power, this to be. So Kyle said, yeah, it's at Meijer, thankfully. Oh, cool. Golden dragon fruit is sweeter. It's like $5 a fruit. It's insane. Yeah, well, that's true. But then I also think about how much junk, or how much money I spend on junk food, and like sometimes even like a vegan bag of chips or something, it can be $5, $6, $7 because you're paying for better ingredients and the fact that it's vegan, right? So having a changed mentality of like, okay, well, this fruit is going to be really nourishing to me, and it's worth the money in the preventative measure, because we're all either getting healthier or sicker. And if you're investing money in getting healthier, it's gonna, no matter how much money you're investing in that, it's gonna be better than in the money that it's gonna cost for any problem that comes up, especially when all of the solutions that we're given are the medical industry and harming us, right? Devin, how's it going? Devin says, hello, Queen Ananda Snow. You are so smart and beautiful. Aw, thanks. I appreciate that. Kyle says, I made a pineapple, papaya, ginger, lime juice last night. Oh, interesting. That sounds really good. I've been missing my ginger juices that I used to make last year with the apples and the mandarin juice and the lemon and the ginger. Well, I guess it's actually been like 2 years now since I've made them. I really love ginger because it helps that spicy fieriness, helps to clear out some of the toxins in our system. David said the final trumpet is humans already getting hunted down like animals. They already are moving in this way with the homeless. Exactly. And talking about the other trumpets and how basically America gets taken over by this AI, and then the children of the crescent moon, these Islamic countries or whatever, see what is going on, and they come to help stop the situation, bomb the White House, and that unleashes the hidden powers to finally be able to act. Now that Trump and all these other characters, I don't even know who else is in politics these days, because I don't pay attention to it at all. I think it's completely irrelevant, other than the fact that it is manipulating and controlling and programming the masses. That's the relevance to it. The stories themselves are 9 times out of 10 complete lies, and it's negative. So yeah. Hey Shane, how's it going? The jab rollout was a great practice run to gauge how easy the majority follow along with tyranny, exactly, and how easy it is to deceive them, right? If you make them afraid, if you have dumbed them down to the level that humanity is, right? We don't, I couldn't possibly make a health decision without consulting my doctor. And if my doctor says it, I need to go right along with it, right? There's been so much to dumb us down and take that sovereignty and wisdom and independence from us, and it goes right along with it, right? Just obey and submit to whatever the doctors say, especially if you're afraid. So Shay said, hi, by the way. Yeah, hi. Hopefully you're doing well. David D says that Satan's ultimate promise is immortality, but we are already spiritually immortal, and taking Satan's offer will trap our soul as enslaved light, as taught in Megillah. Exactly. That is what they say in the Megillah. Essentially, the first thing was Satan was like, I need to convince them that they're immortal, so they'll eventually take on the different bodies, the fallen human flesh, then eventually being merged with metal, and then eventually become enslaved light. We already have merging with metal in various ways. I keep bringing up like pacemakers, for instance, have been around for a very long time, but they're so accepted of merging human with machine already. And it's just like this trickle of corruption, and it's so often for your benefit or for life saving or whatever that they're promoting right now. It's very interesting to kind of look back and observe all of this and how it's done. Duty says even a bag of Lay's is like $5 and mostly the air. Exactly. I just saw a little reel of a comedian that was talking about how Pringles is superior and how Lay's chip bags belong in the balloon aisle because they're full of air. It was really funny, but yeah, and how much they get us to pay for literal poison. So 9 times out of 10, the things that we're grabbing on the grocery store shelf is poison, especially if it's coming in a package. If it's an apple or some sort of vegetable, obviously there's gonna be chemicals, whatever, but at least it's like we're all just trying to like skirt past all these lasers that are trying to kill us and do the best that we can and not die in the process. David said, land of the eagle is America. Land of the sun is Japan. Land of crescent moon is Middle East. Megillah knew what would be. Yeah, it's very interesting to see the different prophecies, even prophesying Dolly the sheep and cloning, and just giving the most logical end conclusion to the situation at hand of these people getting implanted. And all the behind the scenes stuff is very fascinating too, to think about how the war between the children of the crescent moon and America has already been fueled since before 9/11, right? And they keep adding more fuel to that, so as to come about to this final showdown. So it'll be really interesting to see what does unfold, because frankly, I'm not wanting that future. I would really love for humans to take the wheel and divert to the blessed path in the future where love and wisdom and harmony and peace are the way that we go about things. It's a solar-based civilization where we take the power from the sun and we use that to power everything. We're not destroying the earth and corrupting all of her resources and just taking to create power. We're not harming the water. We're understanding that water and love are directly connected. And when we poison the water, when we literally, what they do at Crystal Geyser is torture the water and put it through these very high torture machines. They literally will say that the water is screaming in the room that it's happening in this ozone treatment. That loveless water is literally going out for the rest of the world. Imagine if the water that you drank, like Mount Shasta water, when you drink it, there's just something very special about it. Imagine if you literally could drink a cup of water and tangibly feel the love in it, instead of I don't know about you, but I've had water bottles where you taste it and it's like you can taste the deadness and the chemicals in it as well. So the blessed path is the future that I would love to walk, and hope that people wake up to, because we have to wake up before we can shift course. And unfortunately, with how cool all of the Neuralink stuff already is, it's going to deceive a lot of people, and we need to be vigilant in trying to warn people about what is coming so that they don't fall for how cool, life-saving, upgrade, all of this stuff. Kyle said, I brought 8 dragon fruit. Oh, yum. That sounds... Now I'm going to have to go over to Berryville to see if they have some, because that would be really, really good. Shane says, Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the statue has feet of iron mingled with clay, which would allude to the age of transhumanism. Oh, that's really cool. Definitely makes sense, the feet of iron mingled with clay. Metal and clay. Yeah, even from the beginning in the Holy Megillah, Satan, well, they say Lucifer. I'm going to actually say Azazel, because in the book of Enoch it says to ascribe all sin to him. So he basically presents himself in front of Adam and Eve as this metal figure and claims to be God, and says, you know, your body is too light right now. You're of this very light vibration. It'll be so easy for you to die. You're very fragile. You need to become more dense. You need to become like me. So you need to go and kill animals. You need to take on their flesh, and you need to lower yourself, densify yourself, which isn't exactly what he said, but you need to become more dense to be like, like me. And so it's really just interesting how that has been from the beginning a reoccurring theme. And it also talks about in other worlds how Beelzebub used the same kind of technology against humans to enslave them as well. So same story, same end goal for these enslaved beings. They're enslaved themselves and trying to get others to be enslaved with them, being locked out of heaven. It's like you have to come out of these lower vibrations and let go of all of that stuff to get up to heaven. And if you're not willing to, then you're going to be locked out of heaven, right? You're going to want to keep others with you. Misery loves company, and yeah, they definitely the parasites likes to drag us down and make us feel the maximum amount of pain in every way so that they can feast off of that. David says, your new understanding, compassionate approach is refreshing and the right path forward. Thanks. I've definitely been kind of proud of myself for my interactions on Facebook, especially in the local groups in the Siskiyou County groups here. A lot of trolls and people that are just being really mean, and it's been really cool to take a step back and try to have the loving approach and say what is actually gonna get them out of this basal state of survival and defense into a higher mental state where we can actually discuss something and maybe change can actually come about. So thanks, I appreciate the compliment. Shane says, eat your water. Fruit is the holy water, H3O2. Yes, there's a lot of people that, some people just only get their hydration from fruit as well. I still consume water, but I also know that I don't consume enough fruit. So I'm working on my own self in multiple different ways, and I know that my diet needs improvement. So anyways, David says, it's so difficult with bottled water. It's either got fluoride that calcifies your pineal gland or ozone that kills your soul. Frustrating. Yeah, and just so everybody knows, the FDA requires that all of our water bottles be ozone treated. So even if it's fresh, pure spring water with nothing added at all, it still has to go through this process, which again, in the room that the ozone treatment happens, the workers will literally say it sounds like the water is screaming. So also, if the workers are only allowed to drink that water, this is at Crystal Geyser, which is a water company around here, they're only allowed while they're at work. They can't bring in other water bottles or have outsourced water. They have to drink the Crystal Geyser water and have their stuff. And if they drink it fresh off of the line after it just had this ozone treatment, it'll actually make them sick. And you can notice the workers over time, just kind of the life force energy is dwindled away, because that's what they're drinking, water that doesn't have that life force energy, that's being sucked out of it and suffering, and they're drinking like the freshly bottled suffering water. So obviously it's going to have an effect over time. David says, how's your deal with the translator to help teach the Megillah to the world? How's your deal? Not exactly sure what you might mean by that exact thing, but I do have an agreement that I'm allowed to essentially teach from it. I just need to make sure that I let people know where the information is coming from, which is obvious, and that I link the Essene.org website so that people can actually purchase it, which I'm hoping that my relationship will improve with the translator now that some of the things that were going on, they had an Essene gathering recently, and they were actually shooting a video of the teachings of Christ and Miriam from Mount Carmel or the Beatitudes or something. I don't want to ruin it. It's gonna be great, whatever. But there's been a lot going on, so I haven't really gotten to focus on that. But I'm hoping that I can help get the Megillah onto the internet, whether it's on their website, maybe just having a link that just allows you to download it, pay right there and download it right to your phone. I was told, though, that once all of the translation is done, that there will be a free copy on the Essene.org website for everybody. So maybe one of the things that I might be called to help with is helping translate, get some things rolling. I've already mentioned before, like, I don't even care to see the original scrolls if it's a problem. I know that there's protection around it. So that's like, my intent is not, let me get into the original scrolls and like do things with them. My intent is pure and holy. I want to make sure that I can help get these teachings out to the world because they have changed my life. If you start reading it and you actually go in with a pure heart and good intent, the Holy Spirit will reveal to you the truth. And when you start doing the daily practices and trying to become a better person and all of this stuff, it all just links back to confirming the spiritual nature and the truth in this book, for me at least. So I would encourage you to get into that as well if you haven't started to read it. There's a free PDF online, and even just the first few books will really help bring new enlightenment into your life, bring new love and understanding and peace. David says that water is living and has a memory. We are bottling tortured water. Yeah. And it's interesting too about the memory as well. And just all of it, even thinking about like the rice experiment and different experiments with water and how the different crystals and energy systems of the water can be changed based on the situation when it's introduced into, if you're watching a scary movie and you have the glass in there, the noises and all of that energy can affect the water. Same on the other hand, when you're praising and putting the water into higher vibrational situations, that's going to be more beneficial for you as well and more healing. So yeah, I really look forward to getting back on track to the blessed path of blessed future, and hopefully you are as well. It's really important that we do our part, starting with what we do ourselves, which is what we're eating and how we interact with other people, and then also taking that to help other people as well. It's really important for me, at least, to become the best version of myself possible, and to also encourage you to do so. So becoming more compassionate and loving and trying to understand the more effective way to help get people to change is something that's really important for me. So hopefully that resonates with you as well, and something that you are trying to work on, because we can have all of the truth in the world, and if we take it to someone in the wrong manner, it's potentially going to cause more harm than good. Ultimately, let's just read this actually, about the sword of truth, if I can find it. It's actually on my phone, which is right here, because I just started making a meme of this today, and it's regarding the sword of truth. This is from the Holy God Spell. Taking my phone forever to load, sorry. The Holy God Spell 54. Ooh, almost right to it. 54, starting in, okay. Yeshua said, this is the beginning. Yeshua said to the assembly, in Nazarene white magic, it is taught that the sword of truth is faster than any metal sword. That symbolic sword has two edges, justice and mercy. The edge symbolizing justice is red and considered to be of the masculine polarity. The edge symbolizing mercy is blue and considered feminine. And you might have, I love how this is like blue is girls and red is boys, whatever, fine. But I've always had a resistance against the color pink. And I'm like, why can't girls have blue? Like, the sky's blue. I don't know. I just love it. Anyways, it is true that the sword of truth vibrates faster than any metal sword. There is but one faster sword, the sword of love, symbolized as a sword that blazes with all of the colors of the rainbow. Together, those colors are white light. The sword of love is made manifest only when justice manifests the highest wisdom, choosing to give the final nod to mercy, at which moment the sword of truth blazes as white light, symbolized by the rainbow. When justice and mercy are equally balanced, conditions are relatively good. Yet when they are almost perfectly balanced, but with a slight and self-chosen nod by justice to mercy, so that mercy has the edge, the sword of love, that is white light, is manifested, and the highest condition is known. I really just love how it keeps coming back to the highest form of wisdom is giving the nod to love and mercy, and basically, again, taking this truth is so important to do it in the right manner and not be so focused on like, I'm right, this is the truth. It's like, okay, how can I do this in a loving way that is actually going to produce real results? It sounds like it's starting to rain. So I'm going to have to get off of here. I'm really excited actually about the rain because this morning's communion was water day. And so it's starting to rain. Okay. David says, most of the regular people I speak to don't believe globe is a deception. It is too big to be wrong. That is definitely one really hard pill to swallow. If you haven't looked into the flat earth, I definitely encourage you to, although it's really hard to find what the good information is at this point in time, because when you go onto YouTube and even search the title of a flat earth video, it'll show up a bunch of debunking videos before you even get to the one that you're typing in the title to, which doesn't like happen for other subjects that I've really noticed. So anyways, Mark Sargent's Under the Dome full documentary is what woke me up to flat earth truth. If you are looking into that, I actually am going to be on Mark's show in August, which I'm pretty excited about because Mark has a very large audience, and I'm also really excited to talk to who woke me up, which will be cool. But I'm going to get to be able to share the Megillah to a bunch of flat earthers that haven't been exposed to it yet. So I'm super really excited about the opportunity and hoping that God and Goddess will use me as a vessel in whatever contested realm that I'm walking in to shine light for them and use the gifts that I've been given to help for the kingdom. Kyle says, I need to try out a 432 hertz frequency bowl to restructure water. Oh, cool. That's interesting that it shouldn't be really surprising, but that's really cool because obviously, well, it shouldn't be obvious. Mount Shasta is kind of owned by two spots in general, which is Soul Connections that owns like almost a whole block, and Crystal Tones. I gotta get out of the rain. Okay, Crystal Tones, which is I'm gonna hold this thing over the computer so it doesn't get messed up while I finish up. Crystal Tones is the other place, and they are a bowl shop. So they sell all these bowls and do like daily sound healings and stuff too. So that's really cool. I'm going to look into the frequency bowl for restructuring water because I do have a bowl myself. So cool. I've seen some people actually standing in the bigger bowls as well. And it's pretty cool to see how frequency and sound can help heal us. Definitely stuff of the future, well, and the past that we need to return to. All right, I'm going to get off of here. Shane said, Eric Dubai woke me up to Flat Earth in 2016. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I woke up in 2015. So there's a lot of us that woke up right in that same time. So it's really cool that we're connected. All right, lovely people. I'm getting off of here so that my technology doesn't get rained on. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the noonday peace contemplation. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. May God